Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching me on Karma Lakelands. My name is Ashutosh Sharma. I am the CEO and founder of Socialize, a digital marketing agency. We're in conversation with the president of Karma Lakelands, Mr. Ashwani Khurana, who's going to be joining us live right now. As soon as he joins us live, we're going to ask him some really, really good questions about Karma and about all the eco initiatives at Karma. Let's see, hopefully he joins in shortly and I'm able to bring him live here. In the meantime, to all the audience that's joining in, thank you for joining us right now. We have 11 of you here right now. We're waiting for more people to join in, and we're also waiting for Mr. Ashwani Khurana to join us this lovely morning at the Karma Lakelands Instagram handle. Hello, Ashna. Thank you for joining in. As we bring Mr. Ashwani Khurana live on the Instagram channel, I want to thank all of you for joining in this lovely morning. In conversation with Mr. Ashwani Khurana, there are going to be a lot of discussions with him about what Karma Lakelands is all about, his vision for Karma Lakelands, and a lot of other questions which you would be watching him answer live. So in midst, if you have any questions, all of you in the audience, you're most welcome to put your questions live here in the chat, and we would be happy to take them up with Mr. Khurana. Do keep your feedback and questions coming in. We would be happy to put them across to Mr. Khurana and ask him what his views are about that. So as we wait for him to join in, if you have any questions, you can still type them here, and I will make a personal note to ask them with Mr. Khurana while we're in conversation with him. So a little bit about what we're talking here today. This is about Karma Lakelands. It was his passion to start Karma Lakelands. I have a list of questions that I'm going to be putting him across with, and his answers to them are definitely something you should seek inspiration from, something that inspire all of us. I am currently seeing if I have him in the list of people to put live on this channel. One moment. Okay, I don't see him live here in a moment. Let me try my level best to put him live. Sorry about the delay here, guys. I see about 17 of you here right now. And like a good audience, if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to take them down. Keep your feedback coming in, keep your questions coming in. If you have any questions, you can ask us right away, and I would be happy to add those questions to the list right now. Okay, yes, all right. I thank you for your patience, everyone. You stayed here for a while. We have 20 people present, and Mr. Khurana is joining us right now. A very good morning, Mr. Khurana. How are you this morning?
Good morning, namaskar. I am superb.
Good to see you, sir. We're all in a lockdown, and I am enjoying my share of false greenery right behind me. And it's so good to see that you're in a lovely green, live atmosphere right behind us. And I'm sure that a lot of people watching you right now would also be getting feeling really inspired with that greenery.
Thanks very much. Life is always better, but something is better than nothing.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, the greenery that you see behind Mr. Khurana is the greenery that he's been really passionate about. That is the vision that brought to life Karma Lakelands, a place that stands for its luxury, its eco initiatives, and a total place to be for residents and for golfers. So, Mr. Khurana, they say that there's a saying that whatever you desire, you get, and everything has to be created in your thoughts first before it comes to reality. So my first question to you is, when you created this in your thoughts, when you created Karma Lakelands in your thoughts, what did you really have in mind, and how close are you to achieving that perfect vision of Karma Lakelands?
See, normally they say, if you aim for the moon, you'll at least get the earth.
Yes.
my case was actually not that. I was simple. I got passionate about growing trees when I was a little over 25. And
Mm-hmm.
inspiration came from the companionship of Nek Chand, the creator of the Rock Garden in Chandigarh, who became a great buddy. And
Uh-huh.
uh, and then my aim in life was just to grow as many trees as possible, and that's how the beginning of Karma Lakelands and the land acquisition happened.
Great. And how close are you to that vision? I mean, do
Oh,
you think that there's more work to be
because
done, or do you call it project complete?
no, it'll be work in progress till my last breath. That's first thing.
What an
Two,
awesome thought, sir. And we wish that you live many more years and give us many more eco initiatives at Karma to be really proud of. Um, and With that said, Karma, like I said, is known for its luxury. It's known for the perfect destination for golfers, perfect destination for residents who own a villa over there. Stands totally, like the place to be on luxury. At the same time, it's also known for its eco initiatives, like you have water conservation to organic agro. Which out of all the initiatives that we have at Karma Lakelands is your personal favorite?
Ashutosh, first I'll go back whether my dream is achieved or not. The
Okay.
dream was simple and it is overachieved because the dream was growing trees, making the earth full of trees. And we began with trees and then extrapolated into various dimensions of responsible practices and living, like water recycling, organic agro, uh, eco bricks to deal with plastic waste, the works, to name a few were these. And having said that, what's dearest to me now is what I simply call soil building. And how do you build soil? How do you make fertile soil? First is the understanding. I think it's 39 inches of topsoil is what supports the planet Earth and all life upon it. And right now, entire world, either this topsoil is loaded with chemicals or depleted of all its nutrients. So my latest work, passion on the eco side is creating organic compost, biocompost we call it. And it's funny because every creature, its poo mixed with biomass, leaf fall, plant clippings, grass blades from your garden mowing, all these partner together to make great compost. And as of now, I'm handling 200,000 liters of sewage a day, a truckload of biomass a day, and
Wow.
this needs to scale up.
Truly, truly an initiative, sir. And we wish you a lot of success in this initiative that's on its way to heal Mother Earth. Um, when we say, like these days, we're actually getting a lot of questions as well from the viewers right now. They're like, they've been fortunate enough to experience both the farmhouse and Karma Lake lands. How do we ensure that we take initiatives and replicate? Yeah, that exactly is my question. People now have a lot of time to focus on these. This lockdown, which has now gone through an extension this morning, has given people a lot of time to focus on things that they always knew were really important to them, but they never focused on them. But they never really thought that they could really take out time for it. Now people have a lot of time. How are you making use of that time to inspire others, and what are the initiatives you've taken in the last 21 days and more days to come, which you'll be taking? So my question to you is, sir, what should people do in this time? How should they get inspired in this lockdown time from your initiatives? What would be your answer to it?
See, I can't even say back to Mother Earth because I never left Mother Earth. And so my life routine that was has been slightly scaled up.
Mhm.
So early morning used to be yoga for half an hour. Now it's an hour and a half. Then I
Okay.
was visiting my farm animals that make fantastic soil energizer. You call it compost as well. So instead of one visit a day, nowadays is 5 visits a day. And if you've noticed, this is leaf fall season. So my place, 8 acres, is also a mini forest because we haven't laid out just grass and contoured lawns to show off the biggest gardens possible, but the mini forest is the dominant part of our landscape. And all this leaf fall, we carry these huge laundry baskets, for example. Leaves that are coming off still have juice, and my farm animals, the cows, goats, they just love to eat them. And just watching, these goats and cows turn this leaf fall into soil energizer. So it's fun, I just look at them, and I just look at them as sometimes I say, ask friends, what do you do with your segregated kitchen waste in case you're doing that? Uh, some people do make compost, bury it in the ground and all. And I ask them how much time it takes. And often I've heard 6 months, 1 year. And my proud claim is I turned that into compost in 24 hours. The kitchen
Wow,
waste and
that's
the leaf
amazing.
fall, some plants, some leaves the cows and goats like to eat.
Mhm.
All you have to do to turn them into compost is run it through the cow. If you run your kitchen waste through the cow, 24 hours or less, it's compost. And the cow dung, while it is compost, we can energize it and escalate its power to 10 times over by running it through the biogas plant. And from the biogas plant, your methane gas to run the canteens happens. We got 22 people living in our place these days. Their kitchen is run by biogas. We don't use outside gas at all. So it's a great complete cycle. We feed the leaf falls, kitchen waste to the cows, the slurry, the cow dung goes into the biogas, the cooking gas happens, the liquid is the slurry that goes to feed the earthworms. Earthworms eat and excrete 10 times stronger compost than what you had started with, which was cow dung. So all this cycle I'm romancing with, indulging with every day. I'm a working farmer in at least for half a day these days.
Great, that's awesome, sir. And while you are doing this at Karma, and you've always known to be passionate about eco initiatives at Karma, what are things that people should do at their homes when they're at the lockdown and they're not allowed to go out? What are few small things that they can do that can bring about a large change in the way we are treating this planet? Any advices
Ashutosh,
you have for people who are in their houses locked down right now?
yeah. Interesting thing is, I know friends who live in small apartments who are
Hmm.
doing a lot of eco stuff, segregating their kitchen waste, responsibly minimizing the ingress of plastic and whatever is unavoidable and it comes, how to turn it into eco bricks. The people in apartments have not complained that they have paucity of space. And I have other friends in 8 acres of lands and all who complain that they have no space. So the
Right.
space, first of all, needs to be your own magnanimity. And if you're magnanimous, if you're earth friendly, and earth friendly means you love yourself actually, because this is Mother Earth that nurtures you. If you look after well, she looks after you well. And people in apartments or wherever their homes are, they could do, depending upon the space they have, they could do garbage segregation, they could do home composting, they could uh, plant vegetable seeds into their own pots in the balconies or the land that they may have. Actually, there's so much to do.
Mhm. That's great. I also wanted to talk to you about something that you were doing at a larger scale, you know, towards a greener tomorrow. I've read about it. I want to know more about how this new idea about automobiles and something is growing up on that front. I learned what is that idea about. Could you please educate the people who are viewing you live? What is that idea, and how soon are we planning to see a large scale implementation of that idea?
Fantastic. As of now, in my mind, not just in my mind, in 250 minds,
Hmm.
this idea has already been seeded. So the moment the lockdown opens, we hit the ground running. Now, the story is this. My mother, she's very humble in terms of her lifestyle in one dimension, and in another dimension, she's very extravagant. For example, she needs a car 8 days a week to go out, meet friends, visit the spa, whatever. For a long time, we've requested her to allow us a day off to her driver, which she had not agreed. But now, last 1 month, being in incarceration inside the house, like all of us, we are humbled, we are willing to negotiate into better life practices as things open up. So we talked to her and asked her, is she willing to sacrifice 1 day of the week as a car free day? And she prays to God, please open me out of this jail. And 1 day, no problem. So 1 day she says she'll stay home, no car day. This is my contribution to planet Earth, less fossil fuels consumed, more energy conserved, recharge yourself, be with family more. Now this has got extrapolated to my family entirely, and then on to the Karma Lakelands company as well. How it works is everybody decides 1 day of the week is a no automobile day, and they can have a flexi plan that every week I open up my calendar and decide, okay, this week, Wednesday, I'm not going to step out. Or the next week, I could choose the Saturday, whichever day that works. My mother chose every Sunday, but we all
Okay.
can be flexi and choose it. Now, Karma Lakelands as a company, we have a lot of people who were not exposed to technology till today, in terms of video conferencing, for example. So these days, we are on Zoom and other platforms to have our conferences, brainstorming sessions. And so this newly acquired habit, this tool that now by the time lockdown opens, we'll be accustomed to use.
True.
A lot of people, well, the person in the housekeeping that who cleans the corridors and toilets, we cannot give him a day off to work from home. But a lot of others, to begin with, will be will be told to work from home 1 day of the week, provided they give an undertaking that this day they're not going to step into any automobile. You're not going to say, I took my child for an ice cream in the evening. You're not going to
Mhm.
drive 30 kilometers away to your favorite restaurant. If you've exercised that day to be your work from home day. So at the company level, at a family level, at individual levels, not only are we going to do it, we want to scale it up. We want every individual and every company on the planet to look at doing this and look at the amount of contribution in terms of carbon footprint all of us put together can make.
That is so true, sir. You said that this idea has been seeded in the minds of 250 people. As you were talking, I could see so many thumbs up go up and so many likes and the heart buttons go up and so many people appreciating you for that idea. So I think it's more than 250 plus 50 ideas we've made this new idea viral to that you can all have one automobile free day. And there's something I would consider for Socialize as well, our digital marketing company, where we would probably give people a day to work from home. Now that everyone is getting used to work from home, there definitely can be a work from home day where everyone works from home, and we keep a check that they're not using their automobiles. That's perfect, and this is what something as organizations can do, as CSR people can do it at individual level. So such a great initiative, sir. Thank you so much for coming up with it.
So that's 250 plus 50 plus you, 301 partners
And
for
about
no
about
automobile
17 people
day.
who work with Socialize.
Lovely, lovely. This is just the beginning. All of us are
Yes.
partners and we'll work together.
Yep. I can see, people are like beautiful ideology. No, thank you, Aneet Gaur, no automobile day, brilliant concept. People are giving so many, you're getting so many compliments and so many thanks from people. And a lot of thanks would come from Mother Earth for starting this lovely initiative. So that's so amazing, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, my next question to you is about AQI. In my last conversation with you, when I was talking to you, what really inspired me is that at personal level, you do so much. And what I really liked about the fact is that we've all heard about air quality index. We all know that, at different places in Delhi, you have this AQI meter which measures the air quality. What really inspired me is that you measure AQI at an individual level, and you came up with some really nice observations about the AQI. Would you like to educate the 50 plus people watching us that what have you observed while you were doing your own individual level AQI monitorings, and how they can, be more aware of the air quality index even if they don't measure it? What can they do at personal level to be, contributing to the air quality index on their behalf?
Great. See, last 4 years, air quality has become of deep concern to all of us,
Yeah.
especially residents of New Delhi, the world's most polluted city. And what happened was, a
Probably.
friend of mine, an environmentalist, Anil Sood, requested me to gift him an air quality monitor. So I bought two air quality monitors, one for him
Okay.
and one for me. And then I started learning and I started observing this, and I was completely blown. We live most of the year in either very poor air quality or hazardous air quality. By the way, these days our air quality is either in the green or yellow. From 0 to 50 point is green, which is spectacular, and Delhi most of the days is in green, but afternoon, late afternoon actually, or evening, it goes into yellow. So anyways, when I started measuring, I realized one factor on air quality which nobody talks about, you don't even see it quoted anywhere, which is the CO2 levels, the carbon dioxide
Mhm.
levels. Carbon dioxide, I will tell you, in Delhi, where I am right now, the number will be about 400 plus minus right now, and up to 700, the the statistics will be in green. Green means spectacular. So right now I'm in 400. All of us in Delhi, I would say, are under 450 CO2 levels in the air, which is fantastic these days. Even
Okay.
during very high pollution days, you'll be surprised.
Mhm.
CO2 does not spike up to hazardous at all. It is fairly good. But what happens is, inside your bedrooms, if you keep your doors and windows shut because the pollution from outside you don't want it to come inside, your
Mhm.
CO2 levels spike up. Even when you use air quality purifiers, your CO2 levels spike up because you kept windows and doors shut, no new oxygen is coming, whereas you're very diligently exhaling. And
Yeah.
and what I discovered initially was, while outside CO2 was about 400, first thing in the morning, when I woke up, my CO2 levels were 1250 to 1300. The color had changed from green to yellow, and after 1,000, it had become orange. So
Mhm.
normally it was orange when I woke up, despite the fact that I had an air purifier in my room. And then I stumbled across these two gentlemen who've actually co-authored a book called How to Grow Fresh Air, Kamal Miatal and Barun Agarwal. Now,
Okay.
by the way, digressing, How to Grow Fresh Air is a book I strongly recommend everyone to acquire and read. It will change the quality of your health that you currently enjoy with the few things that you learn. I'll share with you a couple of the points that I've acquired, but believe
Mhm.
you me, that's the tip of the iceberg. Coming
Okay.
back to CO2, uh, I brought in a purifier which brings in outside air in and improves the CO2 reading. It brings it down, i.e., oxygen goes up. Now, what's worrisome to all of us is not so much of a indoor air quality CO2 levels, but inside a car. When I took my my monitor inside the car, I realized if we were three people inside for 45 minutes, outside CO2 being 400 plus minus, inside the car it went to 5,000 or more. Now, to get to 3,000 or beyond, how many colors of deterioration of air quality have happened? Look at it. From green, you've gone to yellow, orange, red, purple, dark brown at about 3,000. And then for want of more color options, at 5,000, you're still at dark brown. The worst reading I've seen inside a car is 7,200, 45 minutes of driving in a Creta, 5 people. What mistake we do, which brings up this kind of a spike, and almost all of us have been doing it for years and years. We, on our car dashboards, we have the option of air recirculate. We do not want the outside smelly air coming in, and we put it on recirculate mode rather than allowing outside air to come in. Now, what it does is it keeps the quality of air inside the car in terms of, suspended particulate material, carbon in the air, which is going to be inhaled and become a permanent part of our lungs actually. In order to keep that out, we draw all the oxygen inside the car, and we have great air quality sans oxygen. And that's the big blunder all of us have been doing, whether we live in New Delhi or we live in New Zealand. A friend of mine in New Zealand, beautiful air quality naturally, they don't need air purifiers. I showed him on the car meter, the meter inside the car I carried, that 4 of us, 50 minutes driving, we were 4,500 CO2. Hazardous, worse than hazardous. So my one lesson to everybody is, please do not keep the car air recirculate mode. Allow outside outside air in, even if it is a little stinky, even if it's a little smelly, smoky. It's okay. You need oxygen. You need a balance of both the components. You don't need one at the cost of the other. You don't need superb air but no oxygen. Right. I think if this is one point I can put across to friends who make it a life lesson, this effort of you and me working on and talking today would have become profitable.
Yeah, I truly agree with you, sir. Before I spoke to you, even I would prefer, the ventilations to be closed during my drive in the car, because it kind of makes you feel colder and makes you feel that you're not. But realizing that this is the amount of impact it makes on the air quality, it is something to consider, to always keep the air circulation open. And that's an amazing tip to all the viewers watching, that if only we can make that slight bit of initiative at our level, all the 50 plus people watching today, we'll be making a massive amount of difference in the air quality around us. So
can we add another sequel to this?
Sure, sir.
I use an air purifier called IQ Air. It's a Swiss make. This is the only purifier that I know of which keeps your CO2 levels subdued indoors, and the air quality index also under control. All other purifiers only handle with air quality index and not bring in fresh air from outside in. So if people can afford an air purifier 3 times more expensive but 10 times more value for money, that is the kind of purifier you got to go for, at least for your bedrooms.
Okay. That's about all the eco initiatives, sir. Now I'm going to ask you something on a personal level. And I see a lot of your friends joining in, a lot of your followers and people who've been giving thumbs up. Thank you, all of you, for appreciating Mr. Khurana taking out time today. The question I'm going to ask you is that amongst your friends, you're known for maintaining positivity, and you're that positive force to you and your friends around. What are you doing for your own positivity and for the positivity of your friends around during these times of uncertainty, when we don't know when the lockdown is going to open? I mean, now we know third is the day, but there's a lot of uncertainty on businesses. There's a lot of uncertainty. People are going through a lot of stress sitting at homes, out of their jobs, a lot of times out of their businesses. So what is one advice you would like to give them to maintain positivity in these tough times?
See, 2 things. If you are stressed, Does your immunity go down or does it improve? Ask yourself this question. 2, if you're stressed, does your ability to handle the reason of the stress enhance or get compromised? 3, stress is an anticipation of a future event which may or may not happen. Why don't you deal with the damn thing when it occurs to you? Why are you dealing with it today? It may not happen. So this is how I work. And the other thing I've learned actually from my guru, Sadhguru, is these few weeks are your recharge time. Improve yourselves, maybe just 10%. Can you bring up your happiness level, internal happiness level by 10% in these days? If you were doing yoga, bending exercise, can you start bending and stretching an inch more than you used to before the lockdowns? Can you be 10% happier to your family than you used to be before your lockdowns? So let's call it the 10% formula. And maybe you always wanted to read more, but WhatsApps consumed too much of your time earlier. Now there's no business. True. 10% more reading or 20% more reading. So all these are things that I am doing. My great passion is dancing. And I know, by the way, 6 structured Latin and Argentinian dance forms. And the blessing is my life partner is also a dancer. In fact, we met on the dance floor once upon a time. And nice. So earlier we used to dance privately once a week. Now we're dancing 6 times a week. And often we tell ourselves that we're going to a dance event and we dress up. So I'm not dancing in my shorts. I got to be formally dressed inside my bedroom. None of you are going to come and say hello to me or watch us dancing. But we dress up well. That's a celebration. And everything that we do is a celebration. And in fact, from my golf course at Lakelands, we got a few hours when Prime Minister Modi announced that midnight or so-and-so date, a lockdown is happening. One of the vehicles was going there. I told them to send 200 golf balls. So the blessing, the gardens I have here, I am continuing with my daily ritual. I tell people I only golf once a day, but that's for 3-4 hours normal times. Nowadays also I'm golfing only once a day, few minutes in my garden. So everything is scaled up. My yoga meditation used to be half an hour. It's 1.5 hours plus every morning. I'm enjoying. I'm more than 10% more stretchable. Yes, one thing where I'm gone backwards is instead of 2 meals a day, which I firmly believe in and I've practiced more than 10 years, now mom's getting lonely and she's got her own house, which is a 2 minutes walk from my house. So she wants us to have tea with her every evening, 4 o'clock. This is something I never did. So chai pakoda every evening with mom is happening, and the compromise on 10% better on everything should have been 10% better on the quality of food I eat. There I'm 15% worst. Pakodas and chai are happening, which is not my way of life.
Okay, let's say just they would be there till the lockdown, and you're getting to spend more time with your mother, so that's more amazing. And
yes, sure. You know, I'm getting 10-20% more blessings from her.
That is true. That is true. So those chai pakodas would, might do some harm, but the blessings would take care of it. So, that's sir. I mean, while you were talking, I had this message from yoga_with_Kush, and the message is that sir is a Isha meditator, and I had the privilege to stay at his Vasant Kunj home once. It was such a lovely place. So, could you tell us more about your association with Isha? I've also heard that there's a special room for Isha meditators at Lakelands. How does it feel for people who visit that room? How did you become a Isha follower? What can people expect when they go to the Isha room at Lakeland? Can you tell us more about that?
2005, I had a chance encounter with Sadhguru, and I attended a particular yoga meditation program called Inner Engineering. And
Mm-hmm.
ever since I've hung in there, I've learned a lot of yoga practices. And fast forward, uh, the Club Karma building under construction at Karma Lakelands was a big jinx for over 10 years. This building was under construction, but it wouldn't move. It was a bare shell for so many years. One step forward to finish it, and two steps backwards were happening. One fine day, this energy business, which I could never relate with, I read Sadhguru's, uh, material on an instrument called a Vigna Yantra. That's an obstacle removing instrument. So to keep
Okay.
it short, this is a solid piece of granite. It's consecrated personally by Sadhguru. The Hindi word for consecration is pran pratishtha. So he puts his life in it. It's
Okay.
Devi. And again, me, total non-believer, very rational, very logical, couldn't relate with such stuff. So I decided things can't get worse. So there was going to be a yoga meditation room in the middle of the building. It was, as of now, just a brick structure, not even plastered walls. And we decided where the yoga meditation room is going to happen. We'll plaster the walls, do the interiors, finish this little room, bring the obstacle removing instrument called a Vigna Yantra.
Mm-hmm.
Sadhguru personally hands it over to somebody from the family who promises to look after Devi in a certain way. And we brought the yantra, we installed Devi on the 1st of Jan 2015. You wouldn't believe it. After that day, we resumed work in the entire 100,000 square feet building. Work
Wow.
never stopped. We had always thought the day work starts in about 2 years, we will open 30% of the building as phase one. In probably 15 months, we opened first phase of the building, probably 60% completed. Second phase was to begin after first phase had been opened for about 5 years.
Wow.
3 weeks after the phase one was opened, phase two commenced. And today, the 110% of the building is open and we are rocking. The yoga meditation room is called Isha. Thank
Mm-hmm.
God Sadhguru has not exercised his intellectual property rights over the name Isha when we've used it in our meditation room called Isha. And rather he's blessed it. And and people who've visited this room and who can connect with energies who are a little more sensitive, they
Mm-hmm.
entered the door and they blasted into tears of bliss. I tell
All
you,
right.
when I get into this room, and sometimes there are people with me, for social reasons, I've got to hold back tears. These are tears, as Sadhguru says, tears of joy, tears of love, tears of gratitude. And Sadhguru says, most of us only have experienced tears of pain and despair. So the master says, if you haven't experienced tears of love, joy, bliss, or gratitude, you are yet to taste life. I tell
Mm-hmm.
you, I taste life every moment, thanks to his blessings, thanks to the tools I've imbibed, thanks to the Isha room at Karma Lakelands. There's a small similar yantra at home. I bow to Devi every day. And bowing by nature makes it your second nature. You fold your hands, it becomes your second nature. You bow to all the elements that nurture you. You bow to everybody who's partnering with you, even if it's your employed Mali or chauffeur. You bow to everybody, you fold your hands. That's the learning. That's the Isha room at Karma Lakelands energy that comes to me, to all of us who work with the company. And we're rocking these challenging times are going to only bring us stronger, more rocking, blissful, joyful, financially successful, and successful in every which way possible.
Thank you so much, sir, for these lovely piece of advices. In this close to half an hour, 45 minutes of speaking to you and interacting with you, we've known the environmentalist side of you. We've got to know the meditator side of you and the positive force you are for yourself and people around you. there's another side of you that's a very accomplished and successful entrepreneur. And anytime I'm speaking to someone as accomplished as yourself, one of the questions is, what can I learn from you to get more inspired? What can I, if there are few quick things you could let businessmen like me know and the other businessmen watching, like what are those one or two things that we can learn from your uh, experience as a successful and accomplished businessman? What would those couple of things be?
Are you a human being first or a businessman first? Ask yourself this question.
Okay.
So,
Human being.
yeah. If you're a human being, you would always live responsibly. You will always do the right karma. You will be inclusive towards everybody. Everybody means every creature, even plant. You'll understand this tree, for example, it's half my lung up there on the tree. What I inhale is the exhalation of that tree, and vice versa. Well, my guru says this, and I repeat it. And so if you're inclusive in conducting your life, in conducting your business, your karma is right, you're surely going to win. You're surely going to be successful in more ways than just financial. And that's why you got to be a human being first and a businessman later. And if you follow that guidance, you're surely going to make more money as well. I'll tell you my money making. Many years ago, I'm in my mid-20s. I go crazy. In 87, at the age of 27, I declare, next 10 years, I'm going to plant 100,000 trees. I give a guiding byline to my pursuit of the future, that greening like charity should begin at home, but should not end there. I begin greening, planting trees from home, but my entire goal is to encompass the whole universe. That's the target. Whether I reach the boundary of Vasant Kunj or Delhi or India, I don't know. But target is Brahm. There's a word, Aham Brahmasmi. So if you're inclusive, if you start from local and go global in your thought, in your pursuits, your karma is right, you're going to be successful. And on the business side, I started buying lands way back in 89 because my 100,000 trees self-imposed target for 10 years was translating into 10,000 trees to be planted every year. And 4 years down, I'm at 28,000 and not 40,000 trees planted. So I need to accelerate. So I started buying lands in the suburbs, including the Karma Lakelands lands. Now, land buying was to grow trees, not to appreciate value and capital creation. Now, many years down, where I live, the value of the land is 1,500 times of what I invested in buying it. Wow. That means 1.5 lakh % return on investment. This is vulgar. This vulgar return only comes to you when your pursuit is not returns. Because if my pursuit is returns, if I saw 100% returns or 200% or 500%, one day I would have felt now it's going to go down and exited. Yeah. And I would have missed out on 1.5 lakh % growth. So if your karma is right, your pursuit is right, and your returns, your capital appreciation is a byproduct of your karmas, you'd have the blessings of the cosmos. That's my message.
Awesome. I learned to, like I asked you, give me two really good advices. My two lessons from you are: one, be a human being and focus on your karma. Second, pursuit should not be returns, and pursuit should be always good karma. And pursuit should be whatever direction you're headed in as a businessman, to see how you can benefit others, and success would come your way. So
okay.
I definitely take that as a.
I'll give you one bonus. If you wanted 2 points, I'll give you the third one. Yeah. The third one is hang in there. If your belief is strong, whatever you're doing, hang in there. Do not give up. Karma Lakelands as a project started to happen in 1989 when I was 29 years old, much younger than my children today. And we are yet to see super success. I'm yet to get the investment back. And I'm still hanging in there. I will hang in there. So if you hang in there and your pursuit is right, you don't give up soon. you'll see great success.
We're getting requests from people. Thank you, Rahul, who says that do such sessions every single day, please. We would love to, sir. And let's plan our next session. This one's going pretty good. I'm really humbled by all the comments that are coming in. People feel so blessed to have you as a mentor. There are people who still remember you for your tree planting love. I'm seeing all positive messages scrolling through the screen. We've come to almost towards the end of this session, and I thank you for giving your valuable time here on this channel today. The last question I'm going to say is, we have a lot of your friends watching. We have, almost an entire family of Karma Lakelands watching this, who are working right now as well. What would be your one message to the team to encourage them in these times who are working with us at Karma Lakelands? What is that message that you would like to give to the people who are working with us right now?
One thing I want you all to know, that there are 250 kitchens running on our collective work. People, please understand, every kitchen must continue to run. Every survival must happen and will happen. This is my personal promise to you. Two, I'm more concerned about, for example, our weekend caddies who come to help our golfers. And these are people who we call casual workers. They're not on our rolls. These kitchens, all of them are not prosperous these days, and I'm getting to feel. There are some fantastic, good people, our golfers, sending us tens of thousands of rupees contributions to pass on to these people who are casual workers but come to us on weekends, and they work daily and run their kitchen fire on that day's income. Think of those. Your kitchens is my promise. But let us all together send in contributions to those caddies and other people. And we soon have a scheme in place. The in-house NGO of Karma Lakelands, Sanskriti Saurabh, I am going to be folding hands and begging. And we all have to ensure everybody's kitchen runs. That's my message. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining in. And we were here joined by Mr. Ashwani Khurana, the president of Karma Lakelands, for spending such valuable times with us. And we learned so much about the environmentalist side of it, the meditator side of him, and the businessman side of him. And we got some really good advices. Whoever joined in, we will be planning our next live session very soon. So stay tuned to the Karma Lakelands handle. And those who are currently not following Karma Lakelands as an Instagram account, please do follow us. And thanks again for your time, sir. And you have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you.